Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan Proft here. Today, of course, the 24th anniversary of the 9/11 attack, the worst terrorist attack on American soil in our country's history. And lest we forget, we had Chicago first responders that scrambled to get to New York to help out after the attack. Among those were the Maloney brothers, Jim and Pat and Tom, Chicago firefighters. And just remembering from their perspective what happened on that day and the heroism of first responders, both obviously in New York and in the Northeast, but also the contributions that Chicago first responders made to the effort after that attack. Patrick Maloney joins us now, Chicago Fire Department Special Operations Chief, who is now retired, among the Chicago Fire Department members who deployed to Ground Zero on September 11th. Well, September 12th. Patrick Maloney, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me on.
Well, I mean, it's particularly poignant as I'm reading about you know the three brothers, you and your brothers Tom and Jim, and all of you being on scene after that terrorist attack, and just interested, obviously, in your reflections on it.
Well, as we all know, it's one of those days that live with you because everyone knows what they were doing at that time. And, we're getting the kids out to school. I was home that morning and saw the Today Show, and we were running it. And I was talking to another battalion chief at the time on the phone talking about tactics and the high-rise fire and all that. And then when we witnessed the other plane hitting the other tower, we just couldn't believe it, and just horrendous. And it's everybody on this, we were just glued to the TV. When the towers came down, I was in contact with the former fire commissioner, Chief Hoff, and he said, we're getting a team together. Commissioner Jim Joyce wants support New York in any way, and that's what we did. I showed up at the fire academy, making phone calls, scrambling for equipment. Everyone started showing up, working together. We had a purpose, and we were going to drive straight there to help out America.
And what was it like when you arrived? I mean, can you describe the things, at least, that whether you want to remember or not, the things you can't forget when you arrived on scene?
Well, I'll never forget driving across state or each state, and it was amazing. It took us, obviously, because we had a caravan driving, but state to state we had state police escorts just waiting for us and leading the way for us. And then I remember stopping for fuel, people coming up and just hugging us, Yeah, it was very emotional. When we were coming across the George Washington Bridge, we could see the smoke, and we saw it on television, but all of a sudden it was so surreal, seeing off the burning in the distance. It was in the evening late, and anyways, when we arrived on this, we pulled up down one street, we parked our gear, we went, grabbed our stuff. We showed up at this one command post that was just, was like apocalyptic. We've seen a car burning, fires burning still, and reporting at the command post. I'll never forget the chief saying, give me 10 guys on each line. We got fires that need to be put out. The rest of you start doing searches. and he goes, "Hey, Chicago, welcome to hell."
And I mean, the interesting thing about this too is like how quickly everybody coordinates. So your fire departments and first responders, police are coming from clearly closer areas like New Jersey, Pennsylvania, but all the way from the Midwest. And you're seeing other people making their way towards New York after 9/11 as well, like you were. And then how quickly that, what you're describing, it seems to me, is how quickly, professionals in the same line of work, but clearly you don't know the topography of New York the way that New York firefighters do. And yet everybody gels so quickly in that emergency situation.
It was an experience. I mean, the brother and sisterhood of firefighters throughout is, it's in our hearts. And I always say, if we can't help each other, who can we help?
And the aftermath of that, how long were you and other Chicago firefighters on scene in New York after you arrived?
We set up camp at a grade school. We slept on the sidewalk the first night, but then we were able to get into the school and set up cots and stuff. But you really couldn't sleep because it was, you just felt like you had to be there and continue to help because it was just overwhelming. I mean, nobody was be prepared for something like that. And we're just always thinking about, we got to rescue somebody or find somebody or whatever. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately we were unable to do so. And we were there for over a week. And, when they started getting the control of the site, because they needed to. So,
and what was it like? Like when you just in the aftermath of coming back from that. I mean, coming back from hell, as the New York fire chief characterized it.
Well, the one thing is coming back and seeing the flags flying was very heartwarming. The one thing about it is we were able to come home and leave that behind, but it's still etched in your memories and stuff. But the one thing about it is the New York firefighters and the city of New York and also the Pentagon, I mean, that was a reminder to them every day because they worked that pile for quite a long time. And it's just, just seeing the flags around, and that was very emotional and noticeable, and it's something I wish we could see again, But
do you get together? I mean, on whether it's on 9/11 or just generally? I assume there's a lot of guys that served at that time that are now retired. Do you guys get together and stay in touch? Whether it maybe not even just because of 9/11, but because 9/11 had such an indelible impact on all of your professional and personal lives.
Well, I've never been to New York until that fateful day. Never had a desire to go to the city, but we became very good friends, close friends, by working side by side on the piles. I see the New York firemen, at least we keep in touch, text thread. I've gone golfing with them in Florida, and and obviously the anniversary of 9/11. I'm not going this year, but definitely next year. And the thing about it is my final day, my walkout for my retirement, I had 8 New York firemen that showed up. And it's just, we chiseled out a great friendship. We're very honorable and humble. And and we make phone calls to the guys I got a whole lineup of whether it be a text or for today, never forget. It's just, it was very humbling. It was the worst of humanity that we witnessed that day. But just seeing people help other people and the friendships that were bonded, it's kind of odd. Is that, I don't know. It's just like the camaraderie will always be there.
And you have at least one son on the job now, don't you?
I have a son. He's a Skokie fireman.
Okay.
He followed the footsteps, and he's doing it. My other son was in. I remember bringing him out. He went to St. John's University, and I would see him when I go visit out in New York. Kind of twofold: see my friends, see my son, and then just my other son's Marine Corps.
Marine Corps is pretty good too. Yeah, that's good. So one of the things that's mentioned in this piece I read by Frank Main about you and your brothers is the health impacts. And even though you were there for a short period of time, there were some ill effects that you attribute to your short time there.
Yeah, I was on a kind of a breathing treatment for, I think, say about 6-7 months. I know my brothers, they're having issues. I'm not saying that my cancer was from 9/11 or whatever, but or the job, but we all carry something with us later in life for what we do, but I do it again.
But I do it again, yeah. Patrick Maloney, Chicago Fire Department Special Operations Chief, now retired, among those Chicago Fire Department members who deployed to Ground Zero after the attack on 9/11. Patrick Maloney, thanks so much for joining us. Best to you and your brothers, too. We appreciate it.
Well, sir, I appreciate I'm finishing this real quick, is the country was so united back then, and I would just wish that we can get a little bit more common ground togetherness.
Well said. Thank you, Patrick Maloney. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And Patrick Maloney joined us on the Turnkey.Pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
When the power goes out, life stops. Heat, AC, fridge, phones, all gone. But with a Generac home standby generator from True Power Generator Service, your home powers back on automatically.